Hello and welcome. It's Kristen from Life of Crafting. I'm kind of at a spot where I'm kind of bored with what I've been doing. So I'm getting out this old pattern from Stampin' Up. And I'll be honest, I don't even remember what the name of it is, and I must have used the backing cardboard for some other project. This is several years old. I want to say it's probably about a 2017, 2018. I'll have to see if I can look it up, find it. But people were taking this pattern and making a lot of like one-sheet wonders from it. And I kind of want to do like May made it, where I'm just going to cut these into random size ones for a card front and make something from that. I'm a little confused because I seem to have multiples of, I have 3 of this one sheet, and you usually only get 2 sheets of 6 combination patterns. So like I got 3 of this one, I only have 1 of this one, but no, wait, this is another one here. This one I saw some really beautiful, they just cut it into like 6s and used it, which I think is what I want to plan on doing. But I got, like I said, oh my, I got 4 of this one. So I don't know, truthfully, how I got this many of one paper pack. But as I said, this needs to go. I need to clean out this craft room. I must have needed that yellow for something. I don't know. Yeah, I'm going to have to look this up because I'm kind of a little confused about the colors. I would definitely say this looks like a Blackberry Bliss. If you're not familiar with Stampin' Up, they pretty much have like 40 colors in a regular color palette. And then they bring in 5 what they call in colors every year. And they stay for 2 years. So they have one that's like just coming in and one that'll be going out. So there's usually 50 colors all the time. But there's some really good potential here. I think I'm gonna just make some like thinking of you, thank you kind of cards. And I think I'm gonna just blow this out as fast as I can. So I have a total of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 sheets. So yeah, I obviously have multiples. Being who and what I am with it being a paper hoarder, I have no idea how I got that many. So I want to look and now dissect. This is a really good background. Ooh, we can do either or on that one. This one has to go up, so we have this one that has to go this way, and then when you flip it over, these go this way. So, I only have 4 sheets of that. So I think I'm going to cut 2 in one direction and 2 in another. These obviously have to go in one direction, and they will be, I'm looking to see if there's anything I specifically do or don't want. And I think this paper pack is going to be really good for mixing and matching. Yeah, so I don't see anything I'm saying yes or saying no in any definitive way or whatever. So I think I'm going to just take some arbitrary ones. These are going to be, like I said, I want to just blow them out. So I don't see me doing much in the way of cutesiness here. I'm going to probably just do some card sketches and call it done. So I'm pulling ones out that go in a certain direction. which are these ones. These ones all have something that go in one direction or another, and I want to use them, the stripes going up and down. So these are stripes going up and down, and then these ones, I went in that direction. So I'm going to do 2 and 2, because like I said, if I do this, turn this around, it goes the other way. So this is all up and down, and I think I'm going to cut these in 4 by 3. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through, I think I'm going to pull me out maybe 4 card sketches. And I knew it was going to come down. So I got interrupted. So I was saying is I think I'm going to pick some basic card sketches. I picked out 6, and I'm going to roll with them. Sometimes you let the paper dictate, but I think I'm going to let the sketch dictate. Because these papers are going to be very busy, other than maybe the stripe, and well, there was the ones that were kind of a ombre. But I think these are going to be good. I picked some to go in the horizontal and some to go in the vertical. I found, I just had to do an order. I don't have all the foundation sets, and I ordered a die set 2 and got a 1 by mistake. So that kind of was tripping me up with the other series I was doing. So I'm waiting for those to come in, because of how I cut my paper already. I kind of needed them. So here's what I'm thinking is, like I said, I'm going to do half in one direction, half in the other, but I wanted the paper big because these papers really are pretty. And I wanted at least 2 papers on there. So this is kind of what I'm thinking. So now knowing this is what I'm thinking, if I go with those directional ones, I have to see which ones I want to do first to kind of have the idea as to how I'm going to cut them for which ones. So the ones that really needed to be specific was like this one. This one I think would be really pretty in this if I did maybe the stripe behind it. So if I did the stripe with that. So these are getting cut this way. And what I'm going to do is I am just, again, going to make this as simple as can be. And this is going to go with any and all of the papers for these. So however many I get is how many is going with that. So I will cut them, and then we will go through that, and then do that card sketch. Then I have these ones left that have a direction, and oh, that yellow is so pretty. Maybe I'm kind of going Laura Ashley here, but I think these blues would be beautiful with that yellow. In the blues, I have 3 of them, but I only have 1 of the yellow, so I need one that's going to be a big piece of the blue and a small of the yellow. If you look at this one really is only one big one, and then I could do a small, but so I don't think it's going to be this one. I think I may do it as this one, with that in the background and a small strip of the yellow. I think that would be good with what I've picked out. I was thinking about this one. That's not that wide. This is 1 3/4, and this is only 3/4 wide. This is going to be good because I wouldn't need to go the full distance over. I only need a scrap. So I'm going to put this one aside. I'm going to stick with this one. I think I'm going to be fine because, like I said, I'm going to get, what is it, six card fronts out of each one. So that's 18. And if I have to, honestly, I can piece them in over here. So this is going to be good. This is going to be for that one. So then I've got these 4 sketches left. And I've got this one that's really kind of busy with the blue and the black. I've got this one. So I have 4 sheets of this. And I only have 2 of this. They're pretty together. Ooh, I don't know why, but I'm really liking those together. So again, I've got a lot of this, and I only have 2 of these. So I do kind of like this with this, though. I don't really like those, so I do kind of want that to go with that. I know what I'm going to do. So we are going to go with this, and again, I need a big background and a smaller strips. I think I'm going to go with this one for that. And then I was left with these. So, I think this needs to be wider. I don't think I can do this one, so I don't think I'm going to use those sketches. I am going to do this one, and I'm going to do the yellow as the big one. I think I may do something solid here and do this in the big piece, and then the sentiment here. And then if I have scraps left over, I have scraps left over, and we'll deal with that with a new sketch afterwards. So then I'm left with these 3 sketches that I kind of said I felt like working on, and I have this, and I think this paper will be beautiful in this background. Here's where you get stuck though with the 12 by 12 versus the 6 by 6. This is a very big pattern for a card front. So going on the card front like this, I have a feeling a lot of this is going to get covered up, but you know what? I got enough other smaller stuff in there. I think it's going to be okay. So here's my cut pile and which sketch I want to do with it. So I'm going to go off camera and die cut these papers or cut them. I don't know if you necessarily kind of need me to show you that. And then I will be back. So here we are with the first card, and I'm going with an ivory background because I really felt like this paper was not a bright white. If you can tell, maybe I lied. Maybe this is a white. No, I lied. It is white. I was working on something else. So, just my heavyweight cardstock. We cut that really splotchy looking one to the 4 1/8 by 5 3/4 as this Operation Right Home sketch number 218 specifies. And I just used ATG. I didn't feel like this paper, well, you could probably use your Barely Art glue or glitter art glue, and that's fine. So let me just put that on there. This, when I went through, it's a Blackberry Bliss, and this is Stampin' Up because I'm working with Stampin' Up paper and I have a lot to get rid of in my stash. So they have this as one big strip across there, and I found this in my stash, and it is what it is. It's just a piece, and this one is only 4 1/4, so I must have used them at some point by 1 3/4. So I must have had this from, I don't even know what, some kind of project in the past, so I'm just using it up. So what I'm going to do to accommodate having a strip, I'm doing the glue first because to me it just makes it easier. Now you can use your grid lines on the side and, you know, do all the lining up. I'm just kind of winging it and eyeing up so that it looks like it's kind of straight. So I will have this gap like this in the center. So I do have a piece of scrap here from doing my sentiment strips. So I'm going to just piece that in the center so I don't have like a really bad noticeable dip. Now, again, I'm doing these as a giveaway. If I was doing these for myself personally, I probably would put another layer behind this. I probably would use, this is the Daffodil Delight in Stampin' Up's paper. I probably would have used a solid piece of Daffodil Delight behind it. And I would have did all the, you know, I would like to do the strips behind it, but you know what? I've just done 19 of these. This is the 20th. I'm kind of really, I will admit, I'm kind of burnt out. Or maybe this is 18. I don't know. It's been a lot. I'll just say that. So for me to hide that, they have this further up. I'm just kind of putting it further down. So I did my strips. This again is just a strip that I had off of whatever, some other project. It's just a scrap. So I just did it, I think I did do the 3/4 inch. It is the 3/4 inch wide. Because I really suck at fishtails, I have bought myself this like flag punch. I forget what they called it from years ago. This wasn't a discontinued Stampin' Up. You can probably find it on eBay. But you can just put your strips in and make sure it's centered in here, or they do go up to, I think, a 1 3/4 or 1.5. So this is what I do so that I can get my stuff centered and get the fishtails lining up, because I really do suck. So I went with Blackberry Bliss and a sentiment that I found in Apron of Love. Again, another discontinued, but any small sentiment would work. I went with Thinking of You because I told you I'm just trying to do some generic cards for giveaways in our business. I'm just throwing it on there. I didn't really measure this out. My U probably should have been a little straight. I'm just cutting again any length. It's not really, you know, they've got a length on here, but I found for me it's just easier to be able to stamp freely and not have to worry about getting it all centered and then whatever. So for me, I just cut it where, give me a little bit of extra space on there. I will center this on here, and then I can just cut this to my length. That way, like I said, I don't have to worry about centering it this way and centering it this way. Yeah. And then I try to give myself, you know, like somewhat of a matching border behind it. And I'm trying to center it from top to bottom here. Now, if I was doing this, like I said, personally, for myself, I would have did the extra layer. And I have like those clear gems from Studio Cadia. I probably would have put a couple of them around. I'm trying to keep these flat because I'm going to be giving them to my buyers from our retail site, and I don't want to add extra thickness for them, because I think some of them really think like they can't mail that stuff and everything. So that is card number 1, and then I will be back with the next. Hi, it's Kristen, and I'm back. I'm coming with you for the first card that I was making with this design here. And I started showing some stuff where I got this Ultinu. It was in a haul video I showed where I made these flowers from an Ultinu vintage rose set. And I'll be honest, I liked it, but then I was set on somebody's Facebook Live because, you know, I needed more stuff. And as you can see, I paid like $10. It was some celebration stamp set that they had up for sale. And I kind of really, the hummingbird in this I liked, and I like the multi-step. That is one thing I can say that Stampin' Up! Does pretty regularly, is offer stamps with the multi-stamp sets. So they offered this, and I thought this would be a quick and easy thing versus trying to do these multi-layers and die cutting and all that stuff. So I bought this off this woman's Facebook Live where she was selling her discontinued stuff. So yes, this is a discontinued one. But I'm just trying to show, like, you can use, like I said, I have the flowers here. I decided to go with the hummingbird. It's kind of, here's what it came up with. I'm really thinking it needs like a flower or something, but like I said, these are a giveaway for my business. I need to keep it moving. I have been, if you can't tell, I'm in short sleeves now. I started the video and I was in long sleeves. I've been kind of on a hiatus because I started really cleaning out to prepare my craft studio that I've been making. So some of those other videos you can catch in between. So this is where I've gotten to, is I'm gonna just do the hummingbird. I'm thinking just to add a few gems or something, some like water droplet looking ones, and just call it a day on these ones. So far I have gotten out of this paper pack, it'll be a total of 18. Of course, I am a 1 hummingbird short, and the one I was going to make on here. So I just stamped these 2 out with this Lawn Fawn Crunchy Leaf ink. I wanted to go with something a little softer. As you can see, you know, you think I'd be a little more prepared. I'm sorry, I'm still learning at this. I wanted something a little bit more softer, and this is how I wound up doing it. So the colors I used, and I wanted it to still have that watercolor look, so I went with B000, that's 3 zeros, B21, and B60. Kind of a weird combination, isn't it? But what I found was you needed the little bit of a darker color, which was this one, to kind of give you just some depth around the back. Just splotch it in there a little bit in the tail feathers, and a little bit in here. So again, I have mentioned probably every video, and I'm gonna keep saying it, I suck at coloring. So if you are one that are out there, there are some real professional ones. Look at, oh God, Christina Warner, Nicole Spohr, they are, Jennifer McGuire, they know how to color. I do not. And I'm just letting you know how it is. So if you're one like me that just wants to throw it down and get it on the paper, you've come to the right place. So I don't know really what color a blue jay is. In my world, you can make them any color you want, because I thought that the blue would go with this card wonderfully. And I'll be honest, this paper is so forgiving. All right, so I'm using the way mistakes. See, you can make mistakes and this paper will forgive. Oh no, I lied. The B21 is the darker. The B000 should have been the lighter, but look at that. It's the, yeah, that's why I brought this in. See, it's been so long since I started doing these, I don't remember. I used the B60 to kind of just start pulling it all together. And like I said, I am not looking for this to be perfect. I am looking for there to be some of the white paper coming through, because honestly, when you get that watercolor, I mean, look at what they threw down on this paper. I mean, I haven't even put this together yet. There is all kinds of white stuff showing. So I'm trying to follow what is already there. So I am just kind of just laying some color down. I don't want to be perfect. Matter of fact, if I was perfect with it, it would kind of stick out more. I do want to kind of not have such a harsh edge on that one color. So there we go. I swear I'm gonna get a new chair one of these days. I think I'm waiting for my new craft studio. These were simple and super easy to cut out. I know there's people that hate fussy cutting, and I can, I can get into it as good as the next one, depending on, how intricate you want to get. I am not getting intricate with this one. Again, the more simplistic you can make it, the better, because this is not that kind of card. The paper lends itself to being in that like shabby chic world to me. So I don't even think, if you count this, it's going to take me 30 seconds to do this. So, having said that, that one is done. I'll do the other one off camera. So I die cut this with the Queen & Company's Foundation 4, and that is where all of these pieces that are die cut came out of. So you can get these out of there. I did, this green is some green that I may have had. It may have even been like a pair of pizzazz. I had a darker green that was just here. I used up colors that were in my stash that were scraps for my greens. Didn't have to get too specific, this paper. I cut this out with the large die that's in there. This is just a white. I was going to think I had to put the cinnamon on it, but really, I don't have to, because of, I'm going to just stick my hummingbird on there. So throw that on there. This is a blue. Again, I don't even know what the blue was that was in this paper. I could look it up. I had it written down at one point. But the paper in this pack, I told you, is so forgiving that this is another scrap I had in my paper pack. Do I want to get very specific? I guess I could, but the purpose of this for me was just to use up what I could. Now, I do have some mistakes that I got caught with the ink. I am on the hunt. Some gremlins stole my lovely Tombow eraser. I don't know where it got to. I still need to do this barely arc glue, because there is a mistake of what I think that they made. So I will use my glitter arc glue. That hasn't been used in a little bit, so let me just break that seal. Yeah, sooner or later, you know what, I've got, maybe I should get that out of there. So let's just, yeah. I don't know what I do. I don't know what I did in my prior life to have some of these different problems. Anyway, that's that. I will find my Tombow eraser at some point, or mono eraser, or whatever you call that thing. The sand eraser, but I'll get that off when it feels like showing up. The sand eraser is like one of those employees that is always running late or never shows up for work. That's my Tombow. Whenever I need it, it just doesn't. The sand eraser just doesn't show up. But when I don't need it, it'll show up. So I'm not getting that stressed out. It'll show up when it feels like showing up. And that is that. So that is our first card for this series. Like I said, I do have some, let's see where they are, what I have for some bling. I think they're from Studio Cadia. Yes, here they are. They are like some dewdrop looking things. I've gotten some great, like, look at that. That was a thank you gift from Queen & Company. So I've got some stuff in here. I don't even know what I have. See, this is why I need to clean up. So I am going to, this was a little yard sale purchase of some Lenox. I think It's an ashtray. These are all my stamps. Do you ever do that where you use stamps and then you don't remember where you got them from on what set? That is these. So at some point I will find what stamp set. Because when I go to get them and they're not there, I know to look in there. So, kind of liked this little dish. I found that at a yard sale. Thought it was really kind of cute. So like I said, I think I'm going to just add a few of these if my glue wants to cooperate. Because, you know, like I said, I haven't been down here. Oh my God. It's probably been over a month since I've actually done any crafting. But down here organizing. So, let's see. You know, you watch these videos and these people look so professional with it, and here I am looking like I can't get my stuff together. Ooh. I don't like it on the paper. I think I like it like that. I don't know, it's my first time using these. These are kind of cool. They look like a big drop of water. I like them in odd numbers though. Like a 3 and a 2 or something. So we'll try that. I do recommend getting yourself some glue that works. I'm telling you, people, I'm telling you, this is the life of crafting. Yes, it is. Glue that doesn't want to cooperate. I will say I totally love both of these glue for their adhesiveness. This particular, I do like my art glitter glue more than I like the Barely Art glue, only because of the nozzle issue. I barely started using this. See, barely. And the nozzle, it's coming out. My fine tip is coming out. And I don't think I should have that after using it for maybe, I don't know. I didn't even use the whole first thing of glue up, and they give you the refill. So this is supposed to last you pretty much a long time, and it barely did. So I guess I'm just rattling on. I'm sorry. But that's what I'm thinking to do for that one. And calling it a day. Maybe I'll put some Wayne Costello on its wings. I don't want to overdo it. That's my other thing too, is, you know, you got to know when to call it quits. This is clear. Maybe some, yeah. Maybe some, yeah. Some Wayne Costello. If you haven't discovered Wayne Costello, I know there's other ones out there. It is beautiful. I don't know if I want to just stop with its wings. Ooh. See, the nice thing is, like I said, these are giveaways, so if they don't really, I don't have to listen to what their opinion is. They're just getting it for free. But no, I like that, because I don't have anybody complaining like, oh, what'd you think of there? Just getting it for free. So that is card 1. Hope you liked it. Now I had some fun finally getting it done. So on to the next one. Hello, it's Kristen again. We're into like the 3rd card because I think I screwed up and said I had like card 1 twice. So this is actually the 3rd card in this Painted Blooms pack, and this is the card I'm making. If you remember, my sketch was this from Operation Right Home. It's sketch 26. So what I did here was the card base had the white, and I was debating about having it show, but I didn't. I cut, this is Daffodil Delight is what this paper pack says, but the way they did the watercolor on it, you can see it almost has like a brown or a orange tint to it. So, you know, go figure on that. It does go, it's fine. I had this working fine, and then of course now that I'm on video it doesn't want to work. I have ATG, I have, you know, glitter art glue. I just find that when I want to do the card fronts, I just stand them up on my card mat And the glitter art glue or a liquid glue helps me get them lined up better. If ATG, I just can't. It doesn't give me that time to move, have it move. Now this calls for a 3 3/4 by 5 inch piece here in this light gray, which is what I cut this blue paper with. But when I laid it out, it was really kind of not distinctive. It just kind of looked flat. So this is Stampin' Up's Marina Mist paper. I think it's Mist. Yeah. To put in there, and I did that about 1/8 of an inch bigger. So it did wind up adding a nice contrast. Again, this paper pack has been very forgiving, I'm finding, with a lot of color. The color on this is supposed to be Pacific Point. And truthfully, I think the Pacific Point is kind of like the darker one in here. I thought the Marina Mist looked much better. And the other color that it said was in there is Soft Sky. And I don't see any Soft Sky in there, sorry. And like I said, some of these are discontinued colors, so they're not even easy to get anymore. Like I said, my point of doing this is to use up stash, and that was what I had, so that is what I'm using. So the next piece, if I was doing this for myself personally, I probably would have stuck a layer behind this piece that is the stripe. Mr. Borny is not happy to be in. What are you doing, baby? He attacked a birdie, and my husband is trying to it's recouping. Is that the word? I'm like not thinking, for some reason that's the word. Recuperating, that's the word. Oh my God, I'm losing it. So my husband's doing some stuff with the bird. We don't want him outside because he'll probably do something to get into the middle of that. So anyway, this was where I was at with this card, and this piece here is the 2 3/4 by 3 1/2, and it looked so flat on there. So I wound up bringing in the foundation die sets. This came out of foundation die set 10, and it was the perfect size to cut out, and I thought to show you how just that little bit of a stitched detail on there really gave it that little bit, I don't know what I got on there, that little bit of dimension, or it just breaks it up. This cat is going to drive me nuts. So that I didn't die cut it yet, because the other thing is I decided to use this Hero Arts stamp set that I gave it the name of Winged Friends. The other thing I could find on this was it says Hero Arts C as in cat, M as in Mary 354. No idea if there's a name on that. This is some little die I got as a freebie, so this did not come with it, but I just called it Winged Friends because there were so many different bees and butterflies and dragonfly, they're grasshopper. So there was a really nice thank you in here. And what I liked about this thank you is it doesn't have to be, there's not like it's not like you have to go in there and think that it's going to be crooked. I always like to hit them on their backs and stamp them up. You know, you can go and get it as centered as you want. But really, there's not like, it doesn't have a definitive like way to be on there to make it straight per se. So this die is pretty much going to cut exactly the 2 3/4 and 3 1/2. And then I used, so that was the stamp I used, was the thank you out of this Hero Arts. I don't even know if this is still current. I have to look it up. I used the square out of this Queen & Company's Foundation 10. And then out of the Queen & Company's Foundation 2, I pulled out their 3 different flowers here. And what I did was, oh no, I'm getting ink on that. That's just great. Yeah. See, life isn't always so. I try to be professional, but you know, things happen. I'll just have to make sure when I put that on a card front that gets covered up. I pulled out these 3 dies, and all I did was I went in my stash and pulled out any yellows I had and blues. So what I had is these are, I've said before, is these are just those old, like, I get Stouffer's macaroni and cheese. I mean, they pretty much any of those kind of take those frozen dinner containers. But I was just cutting, and I just threw them through any blues or yellows I had, and I just used them to cut. So I'll throw this through. I said sorry for the second I needed to die cut that thank you up, but I didn't want to cut it out ahead of time because I wanted you to see how flat that looked, and that little bit of change that happens with die cutting it. I just thought that added so much different. So I normally I would try to put like a piece of paper here and there to keep everything level, but honestly, like I said, I'm doing these for a giveaway for our business, and I didn't think it made that much difference on this one. So I just made a point, like I said, I cut these out in different ones. And I said before that part of this is not just the giveaway, but I'm also looking to destash. So I went in, I don't know if you're like me, I've done yard sales, I've done, you know, clearances on different racks and stuff, and I have a ton of rhinestones. I pulled out anything that was in the yellow family or the blues, and then I have this old Stampin' Up one that had all the different sizes. If I need to, I'll color them with the Sharpie markers, but I pulled out, I'm going to put rhinestones in the center of all of these. I want a big one for the yellow here, and I'm just like, I wound up getting 19 of these because with this sheet I was able to get 18, and then I went through my scrap pile, and for some reason I had a quarter panel in there. I think it's because somebody must have I was doing like card classes, and the woman would bring in the like current stuff, and this one doesn't, the glitters or the sticky's not doing well. She would bring in like the papers that were coming in, and she would bring them in and she would cut them up, and what she would do is, like, you would get free a free part of the upcoming paper pack if you place like a certain amount of an order. So if you spent like $50, she'd give you, like, you know, 2 sheets of it or something. It was her way of introducing the new patterns that was coming in, and it was nice because you got, you know, you got a little something to work with. And I think that's how I got it. I've got like, I had like, I think 2 or 3 sheets. I just need to get out my wand. So yeah, so she brought in the new paper packs, cut them down, and then as you placed orders, if you placed orders for so much, she would give out the paper as a freebie. It was to entice you to spend more, you know, when you would go to her card class. She was a Stampin' Up demonstrator. I'm not even going to bother to give you this because I'll be honest, I don't even know who Jeepers Creepers is. The paper company, I have no idea. These were things I probably maybe won if I went to a card weekend. I probably got as a yard sale. I just threw them in if I found them. So I am just going to go through now my 19 cards and stick these in any which way I can. I'm trying not to make them look too cheap and cheesy, but the same time, I want to use these up. So that is card 3. I have one more card, and then I have my leftovers. So that's it for now. And here comes Mr. Barney. You gonna make an appearance? Come here. Can you say hi? Yeah. As you can see, I have my camera overhead. He's trying to demand some attention. All right, so I'll be back with card 4. I'm back for making card, I think we're on 4. And this was the, God, I'm drawing a blank. The card sketch from Foundation, Queen & Company's Foundation Dies. They do ones that feature that. And this is for Foundation Die 6. And I just wanted to show you as I'm laying this out what I'm going to do. I have 2 papers of the green. And I mentioned on my other one that I got a couple sheets of this paper, I guess as a freebie, I'm thinking from a previous card class. So this is the size of what it started out before. So this, I'm thinking, you know, I prefer the stripes to go up and down, but they don't have to. I'm going to do this, if I can, side to side as one. So I'm not really interested in how many of these I need to get, because I know I'm going to be able to get, what is it, 6 per sheet, I believe. So that's 12, 13. Ooh, I don't like odd numbers, 13, but whatever. So I got to see how many I can get out of here. And what I'm thinking is I've got to cut this sheet in half so that I can get it through the die cutting machine. And if I cut it this way, I can still get, oh God, things are falling in here. You know, that still looks pretty. I don't have to get the main pink. I can still try to get them like maybe this way. So I can kind of get them too, because if I cut it this way in half, then I lose and I'm gonna have a lot of stems. So I'm thinking I don't want to do it that way. I think I'm gonna cut it this way. And then, like I said, I've got to lay this out so I can try and get the same thing. I got to get at least 6 out of this for each sheet of the stripe. And this isn't going to be, I can't just cut this in any random pattern because of how this, like this one, I'm only going to be able to get like 1 over here. Because the 2 is just going to look kind of screwy. So I'm going to have to lay this out. I'm thinking like 1 here, kind of going like 1 here, and then maybe like 1 here. Because again, I don't want a lot of stems, but I'm thinking, this is the die. I'm thinking I can probably lay the sentiment there and still have some pretty, so there's 1. You know, and I can't go this way because then they look stupid. So they have to be up and down. So I've got to get, like I said, 6 out of each sheet. So we'll see how I make out with this. All right, so now I'm back with this card design. And here is what I came up with. So I hope you like. I did keep the stripes going and the horizontal. I thought I wanted them going vertical, but I didn't, obviously. I did have one error. I totally messed up, and it was cut 6.5 and 5.5. So I only got 1 out of this half panel of 12 by 12 sheets. So I only have 10 of these cards. So here is the scraps. I will show you what I have left of doing this card design from those sheets. You know, some of the small scraps as you'd expect. Here, I cut these, instead of cutting them at, they were supposed to be 4 by 5. I cut it like 4.5. So I was just a complete mess cutting paper. So as you can see, I have quite a bit of this floral paper left. The other side has a polka dot. I'm thinking this may be good. I'll do another card, and I'm thinking this may be a good, like, generic birthday. So let's see if we can turn that into something else. This is the scraps I have left. Way more than I would have had compared to my other cards. Here is the scraps I have left from all of the other sheets. As you can see, it's really not much. Found these in my scrap pile, so again, I must have used the sheets from this pack for something else, and I don't even recollect. That's pretty sad, right? But it's a lot of very small, tiny strips. I see some people put these kind of, these like in the inside of the card, so I may do that. You know, I don't know. I'm going to see if maybe I can get some of those like 4 squares like on a front. We'll see what we can do with them. Some very small ones. You know, again, this is less from, I don't even know what, some other card, but this paper pretty much mixes and matches. I don't think, we'll see, there is some cards that you can use scraps with the thin pieces like this. We'll see. But, you know, for the most part, if I wanted to, I could use this on the inside of the cards and really have just this left. Had I not screwed this up, this is going to be like the most I have left of scraps here. And then I did have 1 sheet of this paper that was left. And what I did was on that last card, on one of these background layers, I saved my Daffodil Delight paper, and I got 4 of those fronts out of that, and that's the other half I have left. So far, not too many scraps. That's what I have left. So we'll see what we can do with those next. But this card was pretty simple. I used my Worn Lipstick Distress Oxide ink to stamp the Sending Wishes Your Way. Loved how this paper was, like I said, so forgiving. So that was on this sentiment strip that you get out of this Queen & Company's Foundation 6. I did show the die earlier that was a longer one, and I didn't realize when I was showing it was the wrong one. This is the smaller die in that set, and it doesn't go all the way to the edge. So I realized that after I showed this. I like the stitching on this. These dots, again, I'm on a mission to clean out. Somewhere, somehow, I got It's Your Party, or It's My Party enamel dots from Stampin' Up. That's where these came from. I believe these were probably a gift. I've gone to so many, if you've been doing this for a while, you've probably done some of the, I did like fundraisers where you go and they have like Chinese auctions and they have gifts for you for coming and different things like that, or some of the like card weekends where you go and you pay for a class and you're there for like 3 or 4 cards. Sometimes they give you a host, like the hostess gives you a gift. I think that may have been some of that. So it helps me use up some of those. I did use up some of this twine. That was from some AC, I think it's American Craft. I don't even know where I got this from. Again, it's been, as you can see, I used up, I got 6 cards out of the green, and I wound up getting, I guess I got 7. I got a total of 10 cards, and 3 of them I couldn't do the green. So for those ones, what I wound up doing is I picked the ones that had the yellows, and I used a yellow that I had from them. I had a pinks again. They must have come in like some kind of a set, maybe Michael's or one of them, because I can't imagine like just buying these individually. I picked out the ones that had the yellow, and that was good too because I could use some of those enamel dots that are in there. Like, enamel dots are discontinued. If you really wanted to, I'm sure you could use a pearl. I did have some pearls I was looking to use up. I didn't have to use them because I wound up having enough of the enamel dots, but these were some Recollections one. I think they would probably look just as nice with pearl. So, getting back to constructing this, I just cut the green sheet in a 4 by 5 1/4. There really wasn't any dimensions on this stencil or on this sketch. This, like I said, is a Queen & Company sketch, so I just rolled with it. I will tell you that one of the tricks of cutting this paper was I cut my 5 1/4 on one end and then turned it around and did the other. because what happened is if I cut it this way and then I cut it this way, I would have had a white strip at the end. So sometimes you got to look at that before you start cutting, because yeah, this doesn't want to work. Sometimes if you look at that ahead of time, you can learn to cut it so that the colors or the print falls better. That I did have a clue about before I cut. Like I said, the other, I don't know where my mind was. I think it was getting close to dinner time and my mind was just wandering as to when dinner was going to be ready. So that is that. The wrapping of this twine, it really is that kind of, I don't know if it's like raffia or something. It was not easy to work with. Oh, this paper, because it was 6.5, tore when it went through the machine. I still cut it anyway, because I'm gonna hide that with that, and you're never gonna see it. So for those of you that make mistakes and you get all like thinking you can't salvage it, really look at it twice, because I think you can salvage things. Sometimes if you just think of how you want to do it. Now, the best thing for me, because this had all these like flyaways, I don't know if you can catch that. If you see, there's like all the fibers that are kind of flying away on this. I took this so I got to the halfway point. I put a glue dot halfway down and I just pushed my finger on the back of that. So that gives me halfway. I wrap this around 1, 2, and I just hold it right there for that glue dot to really help give me that extra spot to hold it in. So now, if you take your reverse tweezers and hold this, they're going to give you like that extra set of fingers that you need to tie. Some people want to make the bow and they just tie it on separately. You can do that. For me, it's just as easy to do it this way with the extra help coming from my reverse tweezers. I get my loops to the size of like where I want them, and then I just kind of push these tails behind and give it one more pull on the loops, just making sure it's what I want. And then if my lovely glue is going to work, which it hasn't been. I had it working so well, I'm telling you, I had it working good. I usually just throw a little bit of liquid glue back there. Again, it's going to dry clear, so don't worry about it. I smash it down with my reverse tweezers. I can pretty this up later because I just need that stuck where I want it. Turn it around. Here is I think it's like 1/2 inch, 3 each, and it's red line. I have had this forever. I never seem to use it. I figured another thing to use up and get out of my craft room. This is going to help hold it so you're not going to have any more of it running away. Trim these down to whatever length you want. And now I'm going to adhere this to the front. That little bit of time that sat there with that reverse tweezers is pretty much enough to set that glue right where you need it. This kind of ribbon is nice because with the flyaway pieces going off of it, it's not expected to be perfect. You know, it's supposed to have a little bit of country flair to it. I will put some liquid glue on this to hold that in. I am wanting that piece to go down. I don't want it flying away. Oh God, I have way too much stuff in my workspace. This is supposed to go along the top. Just kind of center it on there. There you go. Now, like I said, I'm not worried. Oh, my Lord. This is why I have the wrong... I told you my fine tip will not come off the pen. And this glue just keeps getting stuck. Oh, there it goes. Now it's unblocked. So I would just take... I got foam tape on the back because you need this to be propped up. With that bow, if you tried to put the sentiment on flat, it really would not it would get lost because there's too much height coming from the bow. So I just propped that up with some phone tape, and there we go. I liked the sentiment Sending Wishes. This is another really old Stampin' Up set called Butterfly Basics. I mean, this is probably at least 10 years old. Anything, you know, script and a little bit on the bigger side is what was needed to fill that spot. That was the only thing I was looking for. I did like this because, you know, I said I'm using these as giveaways. If you worked in an office environment, like we used to have people they used to have parties when somebody bought a house. You know, you had people leaving for new jobs. So I really like this sentiment, Sending Wishes Your Way, because I'm trying to give generic cards to my buyers from my retail website. And I thought this was a great saying for that. So now I've got 10 cards from that paper. And it's been a lot. I mean, if you think about it, I've gotten 18. 18 is 36. I got 19 from the last one, and 10, so that's 29 and 36. I mean, we've got a lot. Now, this was 17 sheets and some scraps from a 12 by 12 paper pack from Stampin' Up, which you get 12 sheets typically. So that's basically like a pack and a half of what I got from Stampin' Up. So my next thing, like I said, is I don't really think I'm going to do much. These strips are too small. I really don't think I'm doing much with them. This I can probably do something with. And that basically leaves me with some of these smaller scraps out of this. This is a bigger piece. These are some bigger pieces. So I think I can probably do with some of these, like I said, there's like 4 1-inch squares or 6 1-inch squares on the front, and I can probably get something good with that. So I have just separated all that. I do have these as bigger scraps that I may be able to do a card with. I definitely think from this paper and that reverse, I probably can get 1 or 2 cards. Oh, that would be a good fit. So let me take a look. I'll be right back with some more sketches. It's Kristen, and I'm back with now trying to deal with my scraps. One of the good ways to do that is through this Whimsy Peekaboo Window Die 2. What I'm going to wind up getting is, I want to say it was 9. I went with this tulip looking paper. I'll get 5 of those. What's good for me is I had these green window parts already cut out from a blowout I did last Christmas, where I was taking and just doing all greens, all reds, and I was getting rid of a lot, and these were ones I had left over. So this is good, so I can get these green, the frame part of it done. And I'm going to get 1, 2, 3. Guess I'm just getting, no, I'm getting 4 of the bigger print. And what I did here was I tried to make sure I had a purple compared to one that did not. Some of them do have a little purple, but that's fine. I just wanted to make sure it just wasn't all pink and greens. What's flying all over here are the sentiment strips, and I haven't quite decided on a sentiment to fit in there yet. I'm going to try and fit a sentiment, and then just maybe, I don't know if I'm going to go back to the hummingbird, but I don't know. Maybe I'll do a little bee, just something to put on the side and finish that off. So these were simple because all you really need to do is the die. The die will cut out the stitching for the frame, and it will do the stitching on the inside piece. So I was happy with that. It gives you enough detail, but what I did have to do with my scraps, like I have some here, I had to take some washi tape and actually tape these in so they didn't move. I I didn't find that you had to be specific, like if you cut this, it had to stay here. I did not find that with this. I can kind of maneuver them. The sizes are all the same, no matter where you go. So I'll put this one together. When I'm doing that, I've got some of those papers that I miscut that I still need to find something with, and then I do have the blue. This is just the theme of this video. I'm sorry. I cannot believe it's that my glue does not want to work for this video. So I do have at least 2 more card styles I've seen for this paper pattern. I will tell you, I'm getting kind of burnt out from this paperback. It seems to be my MO. I don't know. I'm being honest. I see like some of these people like Christy Marcotte that just blows out the 6x6, and God bless them. I get to that certain point where I'm just getting to the end and I just get tired of looking at the paper, and I love it when I start, and then it's like my interest wanes. So I don't know. I will plow through. It just may not be in the next day or two. I'm kind of feeling Christmassy. It's July, and now everybody's coming out with their Christmas and July sale, so I may go do some of that and then come back. So to finish this off, I'm going to find the sentiment and put these in, and I will be back. I'm back with now having picked out my sentiment for this card. This is an old sentiment I got at a yard sale. It's a polymer stamp set. It's so yellow with age, but I'm going to tell you, they have some great scripts in there, and I use it quite a bit. I wish I knew who made it. I would recommend it, but there's nothing on any of the the packaging that gives any indication as to like where or who made it. Somehow I'm one bow short, but I kind of was back and forth about a flower, a bee. I kind of went back and forth about different things with this. And I realized I just needed to go simple. I tend to overdo it. I don't know if you're like that, but I just needed to blow these out. So I went and got this, I don't know if it's called gross green, I don't know how you say, I think it's gross green ribbon. It's, as you can see, I got it at some yard sale, and it's just a Daffodil Delight color. Any color, because there's so many colors in this paper, would finish these off. So that's, I got 8 of these out of that. So we're on to the next one. So I'm back with one of my, I don't know, I may have one more card in me. We'll see how this goes. This was using up this one strip. Now, as you can see, this is not that wide. This is only 2-inch wide strip. This was the little strip I had left. This is literally the size of it. It was 3 5/8 by 1.5. So this card design was featuring Whimsy's Stamps Peekaboo Window Die 3. So when I was saying in the other one, I wanted to show you how I got these in here, because when I was doing this, I mentioned to you that I am taping these in. So if you notice, this is my husband's going by to mow the lawn, there's a set of stitches inside and a stitches outside, and in the center is the piece that cuts. I just need to get, sometimes you'll see that there's a stitching that will come out of the side, but I don't care, because that is the stitching that goes here. I need the stitching that will be over here. So this doesn't matter to me. Same with these. As long as I get the inside, I'm good. So I will tape these in just to make sure I get the inside stitching is all I'm caring about. So that's why I wanted to show you what I'm doing there. So, use my Vagabond to cut that. I did come back and use this Marina Mist. That seemed to be the best. I've gone through a lot of my cards, my card stock that is, like, I don't even know where I got it from stuff, you know, the stuff that's sitting in there in your card room probably too, that, you know, this is the theme of this, because I have never had this kind of problems with glitter art glue in my life. This is a very bad video to show for them. And I do need that fine tip because I need it for this. Now I cut this on just the regular card stock from like Michael's, Hobby Lobby, just the regular. And you know what? If you can see, it's like warped. This is why I don't like to get the cheaper. I like to get the heavier, because you'll see I can get this glue down and it'll be flat, but it just, make sure I got this the right direction. Oof. It does go better. It just looks nicer. Did you ever see when you get like nice sheets, if you stay in a hotel somewhere, or you pick up a shirt and you can just tell that it's like not going to be see-through, like there's just a thickness to certain fibers, and that is like the difference here. Like you can tell when this cardstock is not a heavier weight, and yeah, that's where that is. You want the heavier weights. Now like this is the thinner because it's the printed paper, but for some reason I don't see that it warps the papers that are the printed. I don't know why. So as I was saying with the other one, it doesn't seem like it makes a difference what's the middle, what's the top. Like they just fit in wherever they fit in. If you're worried about is it gonna leave any like residue or anything in there, I have used this die I don't even know how many hundreds of times and done the same thing, and I have no residue. One of the reasons I use, matter of fact, I'm using some old Stampin' Up! Washi tape that I just want to get rid of, and there's nothing left. So I found no problems with doing that. I've never had any issue with them like doing anything to the cardstock either. It seems like, you know, if you just gently pull it off the back, if it stays there, you're good. So that was cut out using the Whimsy Peekaboo Window 3, and we're using up these scraps. So then the next thing I did was I have a Sizzix, they were called Garden Greens. They were at Hobby Lobby, this die set, and it's in around like where Tim Holtz and stuff is. I don't believe it is a Tim Holtz one, but they are in that same area. Really liked all the different shapes of these leaves and stuff. Totally something different. Not something you find with just your typical rounded type of leaf edge. You know, sometimes you want something that has a little bit less leaf to it. Like this, I liked having the more wildflower look. Now I do have some glue there. I'm not really worried about it because it's going to get covered up. Like I said, I don't know why my glue, this whole thing, I'm going to just have to start again. Get a whole new thing of art glitter glue and Barely Art glue for my next. So I did the little thank you tags. This was, I'll see if I can find it. If I do, I'll put a link below. This was an old Stampin' die set from Our Daily Bread. It was called their Mini Tag Sentiments. There was a stamp set and a die set. I have loved this. I left this out because I wanted to remind me to tell you, you do have to cut these first and then stamp, because you're never going to be able to see to line it up. So that's the only problematic thing I have found. But you know what? They give you so many shapes, first of all these little tags. I loved how many different ones you have. There's like a little ticket in here, a little postage stamp kind of one, little round, like almost like a charm for your bracelet. It's really cute. And then they had all of these sentiments. I mean, there was a sentiment there for anything from sympathy to congrats, and you can use this. I don't think there was an occasion that they didn't think of. Even I love my dog. There you go. Oh, there's my I love my cat. There you go. But they are so small. I mean, to give you an idea, like this little thank you is only, it's not even an inch long. It is 3/4 of an inch long. So teeny tiny. I love doing them when you don't want your sentiment to take over the design. So for these, I like doing, I throw down a glue dot first. Now, you could cheat and make your bow and just stick this under the bow, but what I like to do for me is I don't, if I sneak it under the bow, you don't really see the little, the tag as much. And I think it looks cute having that little bit of the hole and stuff shown. This one, I'm using this Stampin' Up's linen thread to make this bow. I love the thinness of this, but it still has some bulk to it. It's not like some of those other ones I've seen that are just real thin. So I'll make my bow, and then what I do is I just take that little piece I cut off. Waste not, what not, right? Isn't that the old saying? I just push it through, give myself a little bit of a tag, a little bit of tail there, and I just push that right into the glue dot. That way I have a little bit also, oh jeez, yeah, see? Get a baby wipe. I keep forgetting I don't have my whatchamacallit on there, my fine tip. Yeah, put a little bit of glue on the back of that. Then you can put that in any direction you want. I like to put it like it's like a normal tag would be, kind of, you know, flapping in the wind. A little bit behind here, and then you can just glue it right into the glue dot. Yeah, I'm kind of I'm gonna have to order some new glue because this is ridiculous. This is how I have to deal with it. I got one that the tip won't work and the other one the tip comes out of. So I have never used Nuvo Crystal Drops in the Morning Dew. This is a novice here. I'm gonna just throw a couple of these on here, or maybe not throw, but I'm gonna just dabble some and give it the old college try and see. See how that comes out. I like the little bit of a, I was watching my replay of this and I was laughing because in one video I was saying that I didn't want to add the Studio Cadia because I didn't want to add bulk, and then in another one I used them. I really am trying to, you know, dress these up a little bit to give these a little something something, and I don't know what I'm thinking. Some days I want to do it, some days I don't. Yeah, we'll see. Yeah, maybe I'm going a little overboard with this, but we'll see. Try it out on 2. I wound up getting a total of 6 with my scraps. I mean, that's the beauty of this. These are scraps at this point. So this is, I don't even know, I've lost count. I'll give you a final count at the end. I want to say it's like maybe 6 or 7. So what I have left, and I've been kind of, I made extras of these because I wasn't sure if I was going to get them on straight. What I have left is still this paper I've really like messed up with. on the count, on the sizing. I should be able to find just a typical like rectangular kind of sketch for this and just blow this out, because this is all I have left. I used any of the stuff that was strips for inside some of my other cards. So this is what I have left, and there's still some pretty hefty pieces here. So we shall see. I was thinking something with these two. I was trying to do something birthday-ish with these. This is just drawing a blank. So let's see what I can do with those. I was thinking something with this. And then I still have this. I'm thinking I may do one of those cards with the 4 panels on. I don't know yet. And then I have this. I was thinking with something with this. So that'll be my next one, is to see what I can come up with for these. And I will be back. I'm going to wrap up here. I still have those scraps, but I'm going to tell you right now, I was just mentally just drained. And I got so many cards out of this set that truthfully, I'm going to just donate the rest of those scraps. I mean, this is supposedly about having fun, and I just didn't feel like I was having fun with this paper pack anymore. So to recap, this was Stampin' Up's Painted Blooms pack. Colors in this were Blackberry Bliss, Blushing Bride, Daffodil Delight, Pacific Point, Rose Red, Sahara Sand, Soft Sky, and Wild Wasabi. If you're not familiar with Stampin' Up, those can be found online. Some of them, like Soft Sky, is, and I don't remember what other ones, are discontinued, but you can find lots of resources online. So out of this card pack, I had 17 sheets of paper. Yes, I had a few extras I found, but then again, I did not use up the entire paper pack. I probably have an equivalent of at least a 12 by 12 paper pack left. I'm sorry, this is my chair making all these squeaks. So I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 card designs, and out of these 5 card designs, this was actually card 1, and we got 1, 2, I think we got 18 out of this one. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 14, 16. So there's 18 of card 1. That is card 1. So that is card 1. That was the one I said I wasn't going to use any drops on, and I didn't do anything with that. Then I had this one, and this is the one I did use the drops on. And we have 1, 2, 3, 4. I think there was 19 of these. No, I'm sorry. There was 18 of this style. So that is card design 2. So we have 36 cards so far. Then for card design 3 was this one. This, I know I only got 10 because I messed up how I cut that. I should have had a lot more of that. So we're up to, I got 46 out of this card pack. Then this was number 4. And this is the one I believe I got 19 out of. So I keep them this way because it's easier. I do want to put my logo on the back so that, like I said, I'm using them for business. There's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, yes, I got 19 of those. I did like how, when I did them, the 3 colors, I did like how they came out better that way. So that is 19. So we are now up to 65. Then, actually, the next card design was this one, and some of these bows I had to re-glue. And I got 9 out of this style. So we're up to 74. And then this was the last, and this was, those are still have those morning dewdrops still drying on it, and I got 6. So you're talking, I got a total of 80 cards out of that 17 sheets. So not bad, not bad at all. I will say that's basically about a card pack and a half of Stampin' Up, whatchamacallit, they're printed paper. So if you even took 2/3 of that, you know, that's like 50 cards I got out of one 12 by 12 paper pack. Not bad. I'll be honest, I did not keep track of how many card bases, card stock I used. A lot of this was scraps that I blew out of here. The only card bases that were like these ones. Yeah, so a lot of white. Not really, just the two. And they were ones I pulled out of my scrap pile. So I hope you enjoyed this. It was a very long series, I understand. I want to try and do another Christmas one next, and I want to keep that one nice and short. So look for my next video. It should be out soon. If you're enjoying watching what I do to try and use up and get rid of things, please subscribe. I'm here because I want to inspire others, but I also am hoping I can teach you something. Please leave me a comment if there's anything I can do or answer for you on this paper pack tutorial. Thank you.